Hello students, welcome to discussion of quantitative aptitude of IBPS PO prelim mock test. The mock test reference number is AIMT 200-2005. Now first of all, let us look at the strategy, then we will discuss these questions. So IBPS PO, each section is separately timed, reasoning separately timed, quant separately timed and English separately timed. For quantitative aptitude, you have total 20 minutes of time and number of questions are 35 questions. Now, when you look at this particular paper, AIMT 200-2005, this particular paper, if you look at the total 35 questions, the following is the breakup. Now, you have wrong number series, 5 questions. You have quadratic comparisons, 5 questions. Data interpretation, your 12 questions, about 2 sets were given. And we have individual quant questions. Those are your arithmetic questions. Your total 13 questions. So 13 plus 12, 25 plus 10, 35 questions. Now, if you look at the order to be followed, that's what I have written here. The first you need to start with quadratic comparison, right? Then we have to attempt wrong number series. Then we have to attempt individual questions. That's your arithmetic questions, easy questions out of those 13 questions. And finally, you need to attempt your data interpretation. Generally, DI, if you put towards the end, it will be always better, because sometimes what happens is, without unknowingly, without our intention, sometimes time will overshoot. So DI is generally pushed towards the end. So solve your quadratic comparisons, wrong number series, individual questions, then do your data interpretation. Now quadratic comparisons, spend 3 minutes of time. You can easily solve 3 to 4 questions. Then wrong number series, spend 3 minutes of time. You can attempt minimum 3 to 4 questions from this wrong number series. I am looking at only minimum number, right? You might have done 5 out of 5 also. I am not denying that fact, right? Then spend some 6 to 7 minutes on individual questions. I am saying you can easily score, you easily answer 7 to 8 questions. Then spend 6 to 7 minutes on your DI sets, about 3.5 minutes on both the sets. I am saying you can score another 7 to 8 marks, or I can say another 6 to 7 marks from DI. Now if you add 6, 13 plus 6, 19 is minimum, 15, 19, 23. So minimum questions which you can look at attempting from this paper, which you can score from this particular paper, is minimum 19 to 23. Anything less than this, I am saying, is a serious concern. You might have got 25, 27, 30, 32, 35. I'm not saying you will not get. You might have got that, but I'm saying minimum you should get minimum 19 to 23 marks. Anything less than this, I'm saying this is a matter of concern. You need to analyze, you need to see seriously where you are going wrong before you attempt your actual examination. If you want, maybe some more time is left over, you have to revise your concept, brush up your concepts, you need to do that. Right, students? So minimum is 19 to 23 is the score which you should look at from this particular paper. Now let us start discussing questions. Directions for question number 1 to 5. Solve the quadratic equations and mark the questions based on your answer as 1 if x is less than y, then 2 if x is greater than y, 3 x greater than or equal to y, fourth option x less than or equal to y. If x is equal to y or no relationship, we are not able to establish a concrete relationship, then we will mark option 5. This is our first question. We have two quadratic equations, find out the roots, then we need to establish a relationship. Now students, we have discussed this in your earlier mock test also. Generally the general form of a quadratic equation is ax square plus bx plus c is equal to 0. So what, instead of factorization using the formula, we have seen the short method. What we do, we will multiply a into c, we will get some value. Now we have b some value, right? Now if a into c is positive, we write b as sum of two numbers. If a into c is positive, the product is positive, a into c product, we write this b, the coefficient of x, as sum of two numbers. Condition is that such that if you add, we should get b, and if you multiply those two numbers, we should get a into c product. Similarly, if a into c, if you get is negative, then write b as a difference of two numbers, such that such that the difference of two numbers equal to B and product of those two numbers must be equal to the product which we are getting here. So multiply A into C. If A into C is positive, write B as sum of two numbers. If A into C is negative, write B as difference of two numbers. This is what we have discussed in your earlier classes also, earlier sessions also, right? Now when we look at your first equation here, 9x square minus 21x plus 10 is equal to 0. So how much is A into C here? A into C is 9 into 10, 90. B is how much? Minus 21. So A into C is positive. So write B as sum of two numbers. Now see here, you have to recall your multiplication tables, right? So 21 you have to write it as sum of two numbers such that their product is equal to 19. So what could be my numbers? 15 and 6. 15 into 6 is 90, 15 plus 6 is 21, but actually you need minus 21. Minus 21 means minus 15 minus 6. Minus 15 minus 6 is minus 21, minus 15 into minus 6 is 90. Now when you are writing the roots here, you have to change the sign. So 15 by, you have to divide with the coefficient of x square, that is a value. So that is 9, comma, 6, minus 6 will become plus 6 by 9. 3 2s, 3 3s, 3 5s, 3 3s. Right, 5 by 3, 2 by 3. Now look at this one. How much is A into C? Y square minus 4y plus 3 is equal to 0. A into C is 3. Now how much is B value here? Minus 4. So A into C is positive. So we have to write B as sum of two numbers. This can be written as 3 and 1. So how much is 3 plus 1? 4. 3 into 1 is 3. But if you see here, we should get minus 4. We should get minus 4 means we should take it as minus 3 minus 1. Minus 3 minus 1 is minus 4. Minus 3 into minus 1 is plus 3. So when we write our roots, minus 3 will become plus 3. You have to divide with the coefficient. What is coefficient of y square? Nothing means it is 1. So 3 by 1, comma minus 1 is 1 by 1. So roots are 3 comma 1. So what are my roots here? 5 by 3, 2 by 3, and roots are 3 comma 1. When you see here 5 by 3, 5 by 3 is 2 point something, right? It is less than 3. But when you compare 5 by 3 and 1, 5 by 3 is more. So once it is less, in other case it is more. Similarly, 2 by 3 is less than 3 is less than 1. But if you take 5 by 3, 5 by 3 is less than 3, but it is greater than 1. So we will not get a definite or concrete relationship. We will say option 5. Option 5 is nothing but no relationship. Question number 2. Again we have a quadratic equation. So multiply, you take first equation, 5x square plus 13x plus 6 is equal to 0. So how much is A into C? 5 into 6, 30. What is my B value? 13. Now write B as sum of two numbers because A into C is positive. You have to write it as sum of two numbers. We can write this as 10 and 3. What is 10 plus 3? 13. 10 into 3, 30. So when I am writing my roots, we have to change the sign. Minus 10, divide with coefficient of x square, that is A value. That is minus 10 by 5, minus 3 by 5. So that is nothing but minus 2 comma minus 3 by 5. Now let us take this 25y square plus 20y plus 3 is equal to 0. So how much is A into C? 25 into 3 is 75. How much is my B value? 20. Now write B as product of sum of two numbers because A into C is positive such that their product is 75. You have to again recollect your multiplication tables. Now we can write this 20 as 15 and 5. 15 plus 5 is 20. 15 into 5 is 75. So my roots will be, I have to change the sign, minus 15 by 25 minus 5 by 25. Minus 5 by 25 is minus 1 by 5. This is 5 3 is 5 5. So y roots are minus 3 by 5 comma minus 1 by 5. Now if you see here, minus 2 minus 3 by 5 is nothing but minus 0.6. Right? So minus 3 by 5 is minus 0.6. Right? And minus 1 is minus 0.2. Now if you see here, minus 2 is less than these two because negative number, when you look at your negative numbers, the smaller number will be greatest. Minus 2 minus 0.6, this is greatest. So minus 2 is less than this. Similarly, minus 2 minus 0.2, minus 2 is less than this. So minus 2 is clearly less than these two numbers. Now if you take minus 0.6, minus 0.6, these two are equal. Minus 0.6, minus 0.2. Minus 0.6 is less than minus 0.2. So this is x roots are either less than or equal to y roots. So x less than or equal to y, x less than or equal to y is present in choice 4. Question number 3, students. 4x square minus 11x minus 20 is equal to 0. So how much is A into C? 4 into minus 20 will get minus 80 and B is equal to minus 11. Now write B as a difference of two numbers. Write B as difference of two numbers such that their product is equal to 80. Right? Now, we can write this as 16 and 5. 16 and 5 difference is 11. 16 into 5 is 80. But we should get minus 11 as the sum, right? So, we'll take larger number as minus. Minus 16 plus 5 is minus 11. And minus 16 into 5 is minus 80. When we are writing the roots, we have to change the sign. So, 16 by divide with the coefficient of x square, that is 4, comma, minus 5 by 4. So, this will be 4, comma, minus 5 by 4. Because 5, change the sign, minus 5 divided with the coefficient. Now, if you see 2y square minus 19y plus 45, how much is a into c? 2 into 45, 90. How much is my b value? Minus 19. Now, write b, a into c is positive. So, write b as sum of two numbers. So, this can be written as 10 and 9. 10 plus 9 is 19 and 10 into 9 is 90. But we should get sum as minus 9. So, minus 10 minus 9. Minus 10 minus 9 is minus 19. Minus 10 into minus 9 is plus 90. Now, while writing the roots, we have to change the sign. Minus 10 will become plus 10. Divide with coefficient of y square by 2. Minus 9 will become plus 9 by 2. So, this is 5 comma 9 by 2. Now, if you take 4 here, 4 is less than 5 and 4 is less than 9 by 2. 9 by 2 is how much? 4.5. So, this number 4, the first root if you take, is less than these two. Similarly, this is negative value, these two are positive values, so obviously this will be less. So, clearly x roots are less than y roots. X less than y is your first option. If you look at your directions given there, x less than y, then we'll mark choice 1. So, question number 4. 4x square minus 23x plus 15 is equal to 0. Now, if you see here, a into c is 4 into 15, 60 and b is minus 23. As a into c is positive, we have to write b as sum of two numbers, right? So, 23 can be written as 20 and 3. 20 plus 3 is 23, 28 into 3 is 60. But if you see here, we should get minus 23, right? So, we'll write minus 20, minus 3. Minus 20 minus 3 is minus 23. Minus 20 into minus 3. Minus into minus will become plus. So, when we are writing the roots, we have to change the sign. Minus 20 will become plus 20. We have to divide by a, that is coefficient of x square, that is 4, comma 3 by 4. So, this is 5, comma 3 by 4. Now, if you look at this equation, second equation, 4y square plus 9y minus 9 is equal to 0. A into c, 4 into minus 9 is minus 36 and b is equal to 9. Now, if you see here, we are getting a into c as negative. When a into c is negative, we have to write b as difference of two numbers. So, this 9 can be written as 12 and 3. 12 and 3 difference is 9 and 12 we have to get product as minus 36 and sum as plus 9. So, smaller number will be minus. 12 into minus 3 is minus 36. 12 minus 3 is 9. So, while writing the roots, we have to change the sign. My plus 12 will become minus 12. We have to divide with the coefficient of y square, comma minus 3 will become plus 3 by 4. So, minus 3, comma 3 by 4. Now, if you take 5 here, 5 is more than minus 3, it is greater than, 5 is greater than minus 3 and is greater than 3 by 4, right? It is more than negative value as well as 3 by 4, 5 will be more. If you take 3 by 4, it is definitely greater than minus 3, but if you see here, 3 by 4 is equal to 3 by 4. So, roots of x are either greater than or equal to y. X greater than or equal to y is present in choice 3. That's in the directions it is given in choice 3. Now, question number 5, 2x square minus 11x minus 6 is equal to 0. So, how much is a into c? 2 into minus 6 is minus 12. How much is b value here? B value is minus 11. So, a into c is negative. So, we have to write b as difference of two numbers, right? 11 difference of two numbers can be written as 12 and 1. 12 and 1 difference is 11. But if you see here, we should get minus 12 as the product and sum as minus 11. So, I'll take the greater number as negative sign, right? Minus 12 plus 1 is minus 11. Minus 12 into 1 is minus 12. So, while writing the roots, we have to change the sign. Minus 12 will become plus 12. You have to divide with coefficient of x square, that is a value, by 2, that is 6 here. Comma plus 1 will become minus 1 by divided with the coefficient of x square. So, 6 comma minus 1 by 2. Now, if you take second equation, 8y square plus 67y plus 24, a into c is 8 into 24. 160 plus 32, 192. Our b value is 67. Now, a into c is positive. So, we have to write b as sum of two numbers. So, 67 we can write it as 64 and 3. 64 plus 3 is 67. 64 into 3 is 192. Now, friends, we have to change the sign. 64, while writing the roots, we have to change the sign. Plus 64 will become minus 64 divided by the coefficient of y square, that is a value, that is 8. This is minus 8. Plus 3 will become minus 3 by 8. Now, y roots are minus 8 comma minus 3 by 8. Now if you take 6 here, what will happen? 6 is a positive value, it is greater than these two negative values. So if you take first root, it is greater than both the roots of y. If you take second root of x, minus 1 by 2, minus 1 by 2 is minus 0.5, right? So here it will be greater than minus 8, but 3 by 8 is how much? 3 by 8 is minus 0.375. When you compare here, this is 0.5 is greater than this, but it is less than this. So clearly we cannot establish any relationship. So we will say option 5, no relationship. Option 5, no relationship. First root is greater than both the roots, but when you take your second root of x, it is greater than one root, but it is less than another root. So we cannot establish a relationship. Choice 5. Directions for question number 6 to 10. Choose the correct alternative from the given choices. So these are individual questions, question number 6 to 10. Let us take up question number 6. There are 150 cards numbered 11 to 160. From this, a card is selected at random. What is the probability that number on the card is either a perfect cube or a perfect square? Now, what are the perfect squares from 11 to 60? There are total 11 to 160 means there are total 150 cards, right? So if you have to select one card, so total will be 150 C1. From 150 cards, you are selecting one card, so total probability is 150 C1, nothing but 150. But it should be either a perfect cube or a perfect square. So how many perfect squares we have from 11 to 160? Now, how much is 3 square 9? It is not greater than, we have to get more than 11, right? So 4 square, 4 square 16, 5 square 25, 6 square 36, 7 square 49, 8 square 9 square, 10 square 11 square, 12 square. Again, 13 square is how much, students? 13 square is 168, it is more than 160. So 11 to 160, how many perfect squares we have? We have 9 perfect squares, right? That is 4 square to 12 square. Then how many perfect cubes? 2 cube 8, 3 cube 27. Yes, 3 cube will fall into this range. 4 cube, right? 64 fall into this range. 5 cube is 125. Yes, it is in this range. 6 cube, no. So we have 3 perfect cubes. 9 plus 3, 12. Now if you observe here, we have taken 64 twice. 8 square, it's a perfect square 64, and 4 cube 64. So 64 is a perfect square as well as perfect cube. So we are counting how many times here? 2 times. Actually we have to count 1 time, so we have to remove 1. 9 plus 3, 12. 12 minus 1, 11. So 11 by 150 is present in choice 4. You got the point? So 11 to 160 we have perfect squares, 9 perfect squares, 4 square to 12 square, and perfect cubes we have 3 cube, 4 cube, 5 cube. But if you take 64 number, it is a perfect cube as well as a perfect square. I am counting twice, so I have to remove 1. So 9 plus 3, 12, remove once, so it is minus 1. So 11 by 150, choice 4. Question number 7, students. Prakash invested 2 by 5th of his monthly income on compound interest at 15% per annum, compounded annually. And the remaining sum on simple interest, that is remaining means 3 by 5, right, at 20% per annum. After 2 years, so we understood that he is investing for 2 years, he is receiving a total interest of rupees 7380. Then find the monthly income of Prakash. Now let us take his total income, monthly income, as 500. 2 by 5 he is investing in compound interest. 2/5 means it is 200 rupees. Compound interest, he is investing 200 rupees for 2 years. At what rate of interest? 15%. 15% rate of interest. Now compound interest, net rate of interest is given by x plus y plus xy by 100%. Using this formula we can find out net rate of interest. This is successive percentage formula, right? So 15% for 2 years in compound interest, 15 plus 15 plus 15 into 15 by 100. 30, 225 by 100 is 2.25. So net rate of interest is 32.25%. That means on 100 rupees, let us say principal is 100, 32.25% means 32.25. 200 means double, right? So what is the interest he is getting here? 64.5. Then under simple interest, he has invested the remaining sum. Remaining sum is how much? 300 rupees. Because 3/5 is the remaining, right? 300 rupees for 2 years. What rate of interest? 20%. Right? So 20% per annum. For 2 years, it will be 40%. So 40% means what is the interest I am going to get on 300? 10% 30, 40% means 120 rupees. So what is the total interest we have got? 64.5 plus 120, 184.5. It is given as how much? 7380. We need to find out his monthly income. Monthly income is 500 is how much? Right? So 500, one second, I'll write here. Right. If you see here, students, if you cross multiply, what is that we are going to get here? 500 into 7380 by 184.5. I'll write 1845. I'll add one more zero here. Right? 1845. I'll add one more zero here. Now this goes exactly 4 times. 7200. If I multiply by 4 times, 1845 into 4 times, what will happen? 1800 into 4, 7200. 45 into 4 is 180. 7380. Exactly 4 times. 5000 into 4 will get 20,000. 20,000 is your choice 4. Right? Now, Parmesh traveled from Goa to Udupi. Question number 8, students. Parmesh traveled from Goa to Udupi at a constant speed of 60 kilometers per hour. From Udupi to Bangalore at a constant speed of 80 kilometers per hour. If he traveled a total distance of 700 kilometers from Goa to Bangalore via Udupi at an average speed of 70 kilometers per hour, then find the ratio of the distance from Udupi to Bangalore to that of Goa to Udupi. Right? Question you should read carefully. He is asking ratio from Udupi Bangalore to Goa to Udupi. Right? Now, what is my total time? Total time taken is equal to total distance 700 by average speed is 70. So total time taken is 10 hours. Because we know that average speed is equal to total distance by total time. So total time is nothing but total distance by average speed, 10 hours. Now let us say T hours is traveling at 60 kilometers per hour speed. Goa to Udupi, he is traveled for T hours. Then Udupi to Bangalore, he might have traveled for T minus 10 hours. Because total is 10 hours. So 60 speed, Goa to Udupi, he is traveled for T hours. Then 80 speed, Udupi to Bangalore, he is traveling for 10 minus T hours. Speed into time is my distance. So if you add these two, it must be equal to my total distance, right? Now 60T plus 800 minus 80T is equal to 700. From this, if you simplify this, 20T is 100, we'll get T is equal to 5. So T is 5 hours. So he's traveling 5 hours. T is 5 means 5 hours from Goa to Udupi, and 10 minus 5 means Udupi to Bangalore also is traveling 5 hours. Now Goa to Udupi 5 hours. What is the distance covered? Speed is 60. 5 hours means distance is 300 kilometers. Now Udupi to Bangalore distance is 80. Speed is again traveling for 5 hours, 400 kilometers. Now what is the question? Ratio of distance from Udupi Bangalore to Goa Udupi. Udupi Bangalore is 400. Goa Udupi is 300. The ratio is 4:3. 4:3 is nothing but first option. 4:3 is nothing but first option. You can also use your average speed formula. If you remember, we have used one formula, shortcut formula for average speed when distance cover is not same. M plus N S1 S2 by MS2 plus NS1. I'm not solving using this formula, but I'm saying you can also use this formula. Let us say distance covered is M is to N ratio. We know that average speed is 70. So from this we can find out M is to N ratio, and from that we can tell whatever ratio we need, right? We can also solve like that. Question number 9. A and B together can complete a piece of work in 7.5 days. With the help of C, they have completed the work in 6 days and earned rupees 6,000. If A can complete the work in 12 days, then what is the difference between shares of B and C in their total earnings? Now, A plus B together can complete in 7.5 days, that is 15 by 2 days. And A can complete the work in how many days? 12 days. When you know A plus B and A, we can find out B, right? B is given by product by a difference, right? So, product is 12 into 15 by 2. By difference is 9 by 2. So 2 will get cancelled. 3 5s, 3 3s, 3 goes 4 times. 5 into 4, B will get as 20 days. B alone can complete in 20 days. Now, if you observe here, no need to find out C here. With the help of C, they have completed the work in 6 days. Now, A in 6 days will complete 1 day 1 by 12, 6 days 6 by 12, right? Half of the work. So, you'll get half of the total money. He's one day he can do 12, he can complete a work in 12 days. That means in one day he can do 1 by 12th of the work. 6 days, 6 by 12, half. That means B plus C together have completed the remaining half of the work. Now B also worked for 6 days. B in 6 days will complete 6 by 20. 6 by 20 is how much? 3 by 10. Now B plus C together have completed half. So B has done 3 by 10. Half minus B is 3 by 10. That means we'll get C is done 2 by 10 of the work. Now we want difference between shares of B and C. B has done 3 by 10. C has done 2 by 10. Difference in their shares B and C is 1 by 10. So 1 by 10 of total 6,000 is nothing but 600 rupees. 600 is present in choice 5. You got the point here? So A and B 15 by 2 days, A 12 days. Find out B, shortcut formula, product by difference. B can complete in 20 days. With the help of C, they have completed in 20 days. That means A has worked, sorry, with the help of C, they have completed in 6 days. That means A has worked for 6 days, B has worked for 6 days, C has worked for 6 days. Now A in 6 days will complete 1 day 1 by 12, 6 days 6 by 12, that is 1 by 2. B in 6 days will complete 6 by 20, that is 3 by 10. If A has done half of the work, B plus C has done half. In this half, B share is 3 by 10. So C share is half minus 3 by 10, 2 by 10. We don't want shares of B and C, we want difference in their shares, right? So 3 by 10 is work done by B, 2 by 10 is work done by C. Difference in their shares is 1 by 10 is 600. Question number 10. A trader purchased 2 articles for a total of 33,000 rupees. He sold one article at 25% profit, okay, and another article at 36% profit. Find the difference between cost prices of 2 articles if he made an overall profit of 30%. He has made an overall profit of 30%, right? Now, we can directly solve this using alligation rule. Overall profit means average profit. Alligation rule, what is alligation rule? You get highest value here, 25%, 36%, we'll get 36% here. Smaller value, 25% here. Overall profit means 30%, right? So average profit is 30%. 36 minus 30 is 6%. 30 minus 25, this is 5%. The difference between cost price of these 2 articles. Now, these 2 are in the ratio of 5:6, right? So total cost price is 11 parts is equal to 33,000. Difference between these 2 is 1 part. 1 part how much? 33,000 by 11, we'll get 3,000 as the difference. 3,000 is present in choice 1. Question number 11 to 16. Study the line graph carefully and answer the questions given below. 6 questions based on line graph given here. So if you can see here, we have got percentage of male farmers in the first graph and we have got total number of farmers in our second graph. So total farmers, out of this, he has given 56% are male farmers. 750, 56%. 56% is 50% plus 6%. 50% means half of this, right? 375 plus 6%. 1% 7.5, 6% is 45. So 420. So 420 are male. So female should be 330. 750 minus 420. So 330 should be female. Now see here, B 60%. 60% is 540. Female, it is 360. Total 900, 60%. 10% 90, 60%, 540 are male. Female farmers are 900 minus 540, 360. Let us see here. 640C, 50% are male. So it's simple, 50% is half, 320 male farmers, female farmers 320. Let us take D. 62.5%. 62.5%, what's the standard reciprocal? 5 by 8. So 5 by 8 of 880. 8 goes 110 times, 110 into 5, 550. So males are 550. So how much will be females? 330. So total is 880, right? 3 by 8 will be females. 800, 45%. 45% is nothing but 50% minus 5%. 800, 50% is 400. Minus 5% is, put a point here, 40. 400 minus 40 is 360. This is 45%. So 360 are male farmers in 800. 800 minus 360, female farmers are 440. Once we write this breakup, I am saying our questions would become quite easy to solve. So this breakup, I have put it in a form of a table here. As you can see, total farmers, we have male farmers, we have female farmers. 420, 330. Second, 540, 360. Right, 540, 360. Next, equal 320, 320. That is what we have got. 320, 320. Next, 550, 330. 550, 330. Next, 360, 440. 360, 440. Right. So the same thing I am putting here, total number of farmers, then male farmers, and we have female farmers. Right, students. Let us take up question number 11. What is the ratio of number of male farmers in A and B together? Male in A and B together. 420, 540, 960 is to female farmers in C and E. Female farmers C is 320, E is 440. So this is how much? 760. 0 anyways will get cancelled. 424s, 419s. 24 E upon 9. 24 is to 19. It is present in choice 3. 12th question, students. Number of male farmers in B and E together is what percentage more than female farmers in the same villages? B and E, male farmers 540, 360. So B plus E, male farmers are how much? 900. Female farmers in the same villages at 360 and 440, 800. So you have to find out is either what percentage more formula. You can anyways ignore zeros here in both the cases. 900 difference 1, opposite of more is smaller value, 8 into 100. 1 upon 8 is 12.5% or 12.5 percentage present in choice 1. Question number 13. Find the average number of female farmers in all the villages together. What is average definition? Sum of all quantities divided by total number of quantities. So average number of female farmers means add all the female farmers divided by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's add these two digits. We have to add female farmers 90, 110, 140, 180. 5, 8, 11, 14, 17, 80. So average is equal to total female farmers is 1780 divided by 5. A, B, C, D we have, right? 5 3s are 15, 5 5s are 25, 5 6s are 30. We get 356 present in choice 4. Question number 14, students. Difference between number of male farmers in C and D together to that of female farmers in A and B together. C and D, we want male farmers. If you see here, C and D, male farmers are 320. C and D male farmers are 320 and 550. So how much? 870. A and B we want female farmers. A and B female farmers are 9690. So what's the difference here? Difference between these two is nothing but 180. 180 is present in choice 5. 180 is present in choice 5. Right? Question number 15, students. In village E, number of farmers who are land owners are 600. So in village E, farmers who are land owners, total land owners who are farmers are 600. 60% of the female farmers are land owners. In E, 440 or 50 are total female farmers, 60% of that. 6 into 10% is 44, right? How much? 264. Out of 600, 264 are female landlords. So if I add 36, so how much will be this? 336 will be your male farmers who are landowners, because total landowners are 600. Out of that 60% are female, so 264. 600 minus 264 is 336. If you add 336, 264 if you remove, 336 are male farmers who are landowners present in choice 2. Question number 16, students. Number of female farmers in A, okay, 330, is what percentage more or less than that in D? D, it is 330. So female farmers in A is 330, D is 330. So exactly what percent more or less means we can say 0%. 0% is present in choice 5. 0% is present in choice 5. Directions for question number 17 to 20. Find out the wrong number in the following number series. So it is a wrong number series. We have discussed these 5 questions under your reasoning section. So if you want to look at the discussion of these 5 questions, you watch same paper, reasoning discussion. Reasoning faculty have discussed these 5 questions there. You will get clarity. Question number 22 to 25. So we have choose the correct alternative from the given choices. So these 4 questions are your individual questions. Let us start with question number 22. Vessel of capacity 80 liters is fully filled with pure milk. 10 liters of milk is replaced with water. So he is removing 10 liters of milk and replacing with water. Again 20 liters of the solution is replaced with water. What is the ratio of quantity of milk to that of water in the final solution in the vessel? Now you see here your total milk is equal to 80. From this, now water is 0 in the initial. We don't have water here. So I'm removing 10 liters, I'm adding 10 liters of water. If I remove 10 liters, so how much milk is left over? 70. How much? I'm adding 10 liters of water. How much water is there? 10. So total is 80. So this is my milk, this is my water. Milk is to water, what ratio they are there? Milk is to water are in the ratio of 7:1. So total 80 liters. Initially we have pure milk. 10 liters of milk is replaced with water. So I am removing 10 liters of milk. So I have 70 liters of milk. I am adding 10 liters of water in place of milk. So we are having 10 liters of water. So ratio is 7:1. Now again 20 liters of the solution is replaced. Now in this 20 liters, milk is to water is what ratio? 7:8. So what will be water? Water will be 1/8 of 20. 8 2s are 16. Put a point here, 20. 8 to the 16, 4 is remaining 40, 8 5s are 40. So 2.5 liters out of 20 liters is water. So milk should be 20 minus 2.5, 17.5. So out of the 70, 17.5 milk is removed and 2.5 water is removed. So we have 7.5 water, and if you remove 17.5, we'll get 52.5 liters of milk, right? Then to this is adding 20 liters of solution is replaced with 20 liters of water. Is adding 20 liters of water. So water is 27.5. So we want ratio of milk and water. So milk is 52.5. This is 27.5. So ratio is 525 is to 275. 25 2s 50, 25 ones, 25 ones 25, again 25, 25 ones. Ratio is 21 is to 11 present in choice 3. Question number 23. The lengths of two parallel sets AD and BC of a trapezium ABCD are 14 centimeters and 22 centimeters respectively. Now if you take a trapezium, two are parallel sets, two are non-parallel sets. So A, B, C, D. Now AD and BC lengths, it is 14 centimeters. BC is how much? 22 centimeters. Trapezium. E and F are midpoints of AB and DC. So these are midpoints E and F. The length of EF is equal to side of an equilateral triangle. Find the area of the equilateral triangle, right? So if you add the midpoints of two non-parallel sides, we'll get EF. So the length of EF, what's the property here? If you add midpoints of two non-parallel sides, the length EF is half of the sum of the lengths of two parallel sides, 14 plus 22. So half of 36 is nothing but 18. That is the length of 18 centimeters is length of EF. Now the length of EF is equal to side of an equilateral triangle. Find the area of that equilateral triangle. What is area of equilateral triangle? Area of equilateral triangle is equal to root 3 by 4 A square. A is side of the triangle. So root 3 by 4 into A is, that is side of the equilateral triangle, 18 into 18, because it is equal to EF, right? 2 2s, 2 9s, again 2 goes 9 times. 81 root 3. 81 root 3 is present in choice 3. So if you add two midpoints of two non-parallel sets of a trapezium, it is equal to the length of EF must be equal to half of the sum of the lengths of two parallel sides. So EF is 18. From this we'll get side of equilateral triangle is 18. We know area of equilateral triangle is equal to root 3 by 4 A square. So from there substitute, we'll get the answer. Question number 24. In how many ways the letters of the word laboratory be arranged such that no two ovals are adjacent to each other? So what are my ovals in this? A is oval, O is oval, A is oval, O is oval. We have for total 4. How many total letters? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 letters, right? So what are my ovals here? Our ovals are A, O, A, O. What are our consonants? The remaining 6 letters. What are those? L, B, R, T, R, Y. Right? Now it's a 10-letter word. So 4 are ovals and 6 are consonants. So in how many ways we can arrange these words such that no two ovals are adjacent to each other? So ovals should not be adjacent to each other. So first you arrange these 6 letters, right? L, B, R, T, R, Y can be arranged in 6 factorial ways divided by 2 factorial, because you see here R is repeating here. So 6 factorial by 2 factorial. And when we arrange this, we'll get how many places here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. In these 7 places, I don't want ovals to be together, right? We have to arrange them, right? So 7 places are there. We have to arrange 4 ovals. So it is 7C4 into These ovals can be arranged among themselves in 4 factorial ways divided by 2 factorial into 2 factorial, because A is repeating twice, O is repeating twice. Now students, 6 into 5 into 4 into 3, 2 factorial will get cancelled. Now 7C4, 7 into 6 into 5, 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 factorial, 3 into 2 into 4 factorial, right? 4 into 3 into 2, but 2 factorial is 2 into 2. Now student, this 6 will get cancelled. 2 into 2, 4 will get cancelled. Now see here, what are the numbers we have here? 6 into 5. If you see here, 5, 25, 25 into 4, 100, 100 into 9, how much? 900. Okay. Then 7 2s are 14, 14 6 are 84. Right, if you multiply here, 9 4 36, 75,600, 75,600 is present in choice 5. 75,600, it is present in choice 5. Question number 25. A and B start a business with investments of 16,000 and 24,000. A investment and B investment. After 6 months, A left the business and B withdrew 4,000. After 2 more months, that means after 6 months, again 2 more months. That means after 8 months, C joined with rupees 15,000. This is investment of C. At the end of the year, they had a profit of 42,000. Find the profit of B. Now, this is question based on partnership. Partnership, there are 3 rules in which you divide the profit. 1, capital different, time period same. You divide in the ratio of capital. Capital same, time period different. Divide in the ratio of time period. Capital and time period both are different. You have to divide in the ratio of product of capital and time period. Now students, here if you see here, we have capital different and time periods also different. A is investing 16,000 rupees for how many years? For how many months? 6 months, right? After 6 months he is leaving. So 16 into 6. What about B? 24,000 for 6 months. After that he is withdrawing 4,000. So this 24 is for 6 months. After that he is withdrawing 4,000. So 20,000 for 6 months. Anyways, 3 zeros will get cancelled. I am not taking that. C is investing 15,000 for how many months? 4 months, because after 6 months, after 2 more months, after 8 months he is joining. That means he is there in the business for only 4 months. So how much is this? If I take 6 common here, this will be 24 plus 20, 44 into 6. So 4 11s 44, 4 4s 16. Again 3 2s are 6, 3 2s are 6, 3 5s are. So what is the ratio? A is to B is to C. Profit sharing ratio is nothing but 4 2s are 8 is to 22 is to 5. Now we need to find out profit share of B. So profit share of B will be 22 by 35 total parts into 42,000. Right, 35 ones 35, 70 35 twos. So 1200 into 22. Now you either multiply 240 plus 24, 264, 26,400. Directly you multiply 2 zeros, 22 into 12 is 264, or you can do one thing. 22 can be written as 2 into, you can write it as 11 into 2 into 1200. So 2 into 1200 is 11 into 2400. So anyways 2 zeros will be in my answer. 24, you have to multiply by 11, put a 0 here, 0 here. 4 plus 0, 4, 2 plus 4, 6, 0 plus 2 is 2, you'll get 264. Or directly you multiply 240 plus 24, 264. Directions for 26 to 31. Study the following table carefully and answer the questions that follow. So this is a data interpretation. You have 6 questions based on this table. The table shows number of fiction books and that of non-fiction books available in 4 shops, PQRS, and the percentage of total books sold. You be careful here. And percentage of total books sold, that is given here. This percentage is out of total books that are sold. Total number of books is number of fiction books plus number of non-fiction books. Now, let us write down this. See here students, fiction plus non-fiction is total number of books. Non-fiction is 40%, means this should be 60%. Right? So 60%, 360. 40%, how much? We will find out non-fiction. 16 into 6 is 360. Into 6 should be 240. Or I can also do like this. 60 divided into 3 parts, 20%, right? Divided into 3 parts, 120. 40% is 120, 120, 240. So 60%, if you write 3 parts, 20%, 20%, 20%. 360 also, 120, 120, 120. 40% means take these two. So it is nothing but 240. Similarly, One second. Let us take up second one. 36% is non-fiction for Q, so this should be 64%. So 64% is equal to 400. 36% is how much? 36 into 400 by 64. Then 4 16s, otherwise 8 8s are 64, 8 50s. Then 4 2s, 4 9s, 2 goes 25 times. 25 into 9, 225. This value. Right? Now I will take one more column here, total books. So if you add this, 360 plus 240, 600. 400 plus 225, total books are 625. Then this is, look, 60%. So this should be 40%. So 40%, 500. 60%, how much? You either cross multiply 60 into 500 by 40, right? 4 goes 125 times, 125 into 6, 750. Or we can say divide into two equal parts, 20%, 20%, 250. 20%, 250 means 60% means 3, 250, 750. 750 plus 500, this is 1250 total books. 50%, this is 250, so this also 50%, right? Fiction plus non-fiction is total, so this should be 250. 250, 250 is 500. So 40%, this percentage of books sold, it is out of total books, this percentage. Now 50% means it is 625, it is easy. 40% means this is 200. 60%, 60% is 50% plus 10%, or 62.5 into 6 times. 360 plus 15, 375. Right? 10% 62.5 into 6 times. 360 plus 15, 375, or 50% is how much? Half of this plus 62.5. 45%, 50%, 300, subtract 5%. 5% means just put a point here, 30. 300 minus 30, 270. This means 45%. Number of books sold. Right? Okay. 360, 400, 500, 250. Non-fiction we will see. 240, 225, 750, 250. 240, 225, 750, 250. Then total books 600, 625, 1250, 500. 600, 625, 1250, 500. I am putting in a rough sheet, right? In a rough sheet you can write down these values. Number of books sold 270, 375, 625, 200. 270, 375, 625, 200. Right. Once you have this data on your piece of paper, I am saying questions can be solved very easily, students. Question number 26. Shop P and Shop Q sold 62.5% and 55.9% of the number of non-fiction books available with them. The number of fiction books sold by P is what percentage of that sold by Q. Now if you take P here, P has sold 62.5% of non-fiction books available with them. How many non-fiction are available? 240. Out of this 240, how many it has sold? 62.5%. 62.5% is 5 by 8. So 5 by 8 into 240. So how many non-fiction books it has sold? 150. P has sold how many total number of books sold? 270. Out of 270, 150 are non-fiction. So obviously fiction should be how many? 120. These are non-fiction. Total sold 270, non-fiction 150. 270 minus 150 is 120 are fiction. 55 5 by 9%. 55 5 by 9 percentage. What is the fractional value? 5 by 9. Now if you take Q, 5 by 9 of the number of 5 by 9 of the non-fiction books, right? So 5 by 9 of 225 in Q. 5 by 9 of how many non-fiction books are available? 225. 9 2s are 18, 45, 9 5s, 25 5s, 125 are non-fiction. So 125 are non-fiction. If I subtract, 250 are my fiction. Now what is the question? Number of fiction books sold by P is what percentage of that sold by Q? Fiction books sold by P is 120 by sold by Q is 250 into 100. Right? 0 0 25 goes 4 times. 12 into 4 is 48%. Choice 3, or we have 12 by 25 into 100. Don't even simplify. 12 by 24 is 1 by 2, 50%. 25 means it is slightly less than 50%. Slightly less than 50%, we have only one option, that is 48%. Question number 27, students. The average number of books sold by Q and R together is how much more than that sold by P and S together? Number of books sold by Q and R together. Q and R together, add these two, 375 and 625. It is nothing but 1000. P and S together, 270 plus 200, it is 470. Subtract 530. But we need average, 530 divided by 2, so it should be 265 present in choice 2. Either first you take the average or take the difference and you can also take the average. 1000 by 2 is 500, 270 by 2 is how much? 235, 500 minus 235, 1000, average is by 2, 500. P plus is 470 by 2, it is 235. 500 minus 235 is nothing but 265. Or I am saying directly take the difference, 530, average is by 2, you will get 265 present in choice 2. Question number 28, students. Ratio of number of fiction books sold by R to that of non-fiction books sold by R is 16 is to 19. If you take R, fiction is to non-fiction, this ratio is 16 is to 9. 16 is to 9. And corresponding ratio for S is 3 is to 1. Fiction is to non-fiction. Right, find the total number of non-fiction books sold by these two shops. Now if you take R, non-fiction is 9 parts by total 25 into 625. 25 goes 25 times. 25 into 9, 180 plus 45, 225. For S, non-fiction is 1 part by total 3 is to 1 means total parts are 4 into 200. So it is 50. 225 plus 50, total non-fiction books sold by these two is 275. Next, question number 29. Find the total number of books available in all the 4 shops. That means we need to find out total of all the books available here. Right? Sorry, these are not my total books. These are my total books. Right? So, to sum of all the total books available in the library. Right? Now, if you see here, 25 plus 50, if you take last 2 digits should be 75. Just look at the option. Don't add the entire number. There is only one option with last 2 digits at 75. 2975 is my answer. Or if you want to add, we can add also. I'm saying no need to add here. Directly, if you add last 2 digits is 75. There is only one option with last 2 digits as 75. Question number 30, students. What is the ratio of number of non-fiction books available in P and R together to that of Q and S together? Non-fiction P and R 240 and 750. How much? P plus R 990. Q plus S non-fiction 225 250. How much? 475. Now students, see here, 5 is a common factor. Just here, 5 9s are 45, 25. 5 5s. So we should get 95 and 5 1s are 5, 39, 5 7s are 5, sorry, 5 1s are 5, 49, 5 9s are 45, then 5 8s are 40. 198 is to 95 is 4th option. Question number 31. The selling price of each fiction books is 400 and each non-fiction book is 300. What would be the total revenue collected by shop P if P sold each type equal in number? Now, total 270 P has sold, equal in number means fiction 135. Similarly, non-fiction should be 135. So, fiction 135 into price, selling price is 400, non-fiction 135 into 300. So, directly I can say 135 if you take common into 700. So, 2 zeros, 9 10 plus 35, 945, 94,500. It is present in choice 3. Directions for question number 32 to 35. Select the correct alternative from the given choices. So, these are individual quant questions. Now, the ratio of question number 32 on your screen, the ratio of Geeta's age 3 years hence. Hence means after 3 years. Anjali's age 5 years ago, that means 5 years before, is 5 is to 4. The ratio of Geeta's age 5 years ago to Anjali's age 3 years hence, that means after 3 years, is 1 is to 2. Find the difference between present ages of Geeta and Anjali. Let us take present age of Geeta as G, Anjali as A. What is my first equation? The ratio Geeta's age 3 years hence. If present age is G, after 3 years will be G plus 3. Hence means after 3 years. Anjali's age 5 years ago. Present age is A. 5 years ago is A minus 5. This ratio is given as 5 upon 4. Cross multiply and simplify. 4G plus 12 is equal to 5A minus 25. Or I can say 4G minus 5A is equal to minus 37. 4G minus 5A is minus 37. Then you take second one. Geeta's age 5 years ago. G is the present age. 5 years is G minus 5. And Anjali says 3 years hence. After 3 years means A plus 3. This ratio is given as how much? 1 is to 2. Cross multiply. 2G minus 10 is equal to A plus 3. Or 2G minus A is equal to 13. So 2g minus a is 13. So this is my first equation, this is my second equation. We have to solve these two. Multiply second equation by 2. What will we get? 4g minus 2a is equal to 13 2 is 26. Now subtract. This will be plus, this will be minus. Alright, so 4g cancel. So minus 5a plus 2a minus. One second. Sorry, so minus 5a plus 2a is minus 3a is equal to minus 37 minus 26. How much? Minus 63. So from this I'll get a is equal to 21. If a is 21, g will be 21. If I send this set, substitute here, 34 by 2, 17. Difference between these two is 4 years. 4 years is present in choice 2. Question number 33. P is 40% more efficient than Q. Time and work question, students. Q started the work after D days. He was replaced by P, who completed the remaining work in D minus 4 days. So first Q is working for D days. Then Q is removed. P is replacing him. P is working for D minus 4 days and the work is completed. Ratio of work done by Q to that of P is 15:14. How many days P and Q together can complete the total work? Whole work means total work. Now P and Q efficiency is given. P is 40% more efficient than Q. It is talking in terms of percentage. So Q's efficiency 100, P is 40% more. So that's why I'm taking 100 as base Q value. So P is 40% more means 140. So what is their efficiency ratio? 7:5. So if you take ratio 7:5, right? So P is doing 7 units, Q is doing 5 units. Q started the work for D days. So what's the work done by Q? 5D. By work done by P per day 7 units, he is working for D minus 4 days. This work done ratio is 15/14. 5 goes 3 times, 7 goes 2 times. So 2D is equal to, if you multiply 3D minus 12, or we can say D is equal to 12. That means Q has worked for D days. So what is my total work? Total work is equal to Q's efficiency is 5 units per day. He is working for D days. D is nothing but 12 days. 5 into 12. Plus P's efficiency is 7 units. And after Q is replaced by P, P is completing the work in D minus 4 days. 12 minus 4, P is working for 8 days. So this is 60 plus 56, 116 units. This is the total work. Now P plus Q together can complete the work in how many days? 116 units. P and Q in one day will do 12 units. So 12 maximum 9 times 108, 8 by 12. 4 2s, 4 3s. 9 2 by 3 days. 9 2 by 3 days is present in choice 3. 34th question. Shopkeeper sells an article for rupees 560 selling price. After discount of 30% on its market price, makes a profit of 12%. What's the amount of discount the shopkeeper can offer while selling the same to gain a profit of 20%? That's if you want to have a profit of 24%. If you want to have a profit of 24%, so what is the amount of discount, not percentage, amount of discount the shopkeeper should offer? We know that selling price is 560 after giving a discount of 30%. That means I'm giving a discount of 30% means we are selling at 70% of the market price. 70% of the market price is 560. From this we will get market price is equal to 007 goes 8 times, 8 into 100, 800. Now he is getting a profit of 12%. Profit of 12% means selling price is 560. I am selling at 112% of my cost price is my selling price 560. 112 goes exactly 5 times. So what is my cost price? 500. Now he want to make a profit of 24%. So 24% profit means profit is calculated on cost price, 24% of 500. So you want to make a profit of 120. If you want to make a profit of 120, you should sell it 500 plus 120, 620 rupees. So how much discount you should give? 800 is the market price. You want to sell it 620. So discount should be how much? 180 rupees should be the discount. If I subtract 800 minus 620, it is present in choice 4. Question number 35, students. Solid sphere is cut into 2 equal halves. The sum of total surface areas of the 2 hemispheres is more than the surface area of the sphere by 693 centimeters square. Find the volume of the sphere. What is the formula for volume of the sphere? 4 by 3 pi r cube. What is surface area of the sphere? Formula. Surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square. What is surface area of hemisphere? If you know the formulas, you will get the answer. That's all. Surface area of a hemisphere. Cutting the sphere into two equal parts, right? Two equal halves. Hemisphere is 3 pi r square. Now, it's been cut into two equal halves. That means I'm getting two hemispheres, right? So, what's the surface area of this hemisphere? 2 into each hemisphere is 3 pi r square. So, 6 pi r square. So, it is more than the surface area of the sphere. Surface area of the sphere is 4 pi r square by how much? 693. So, 2 pi r square. 2 into pi is 22 by 7 into r square is 693. 11 6 are 66. 33, 11 3s, 11 2s. So what is my r square here? If you observe here, 63 can be written as 7 into 9 into 7 by 2 into 2. From this, I can say r is equal to, I'll get 1 7. For 9, 7 and 7 root, I'll get 1 7. For 9, I'll get 3. 7 into 3, 21. By for 2 2s, I'll get 1. Now, surface, what is the question? Volume of the cube. Volume of the cube is 4 by 3 into pi is 22 by 7 into r cube. R cube is 21 by 2 into 21 by 2 into 21 by 2. Right, students? 3 goes 3 into 7, 21, 21 cancel. 2 into 2, 4, 4 will get cancelled. Again, 2 goes 11 times. So, what is that? We have 11 into 21 into 21. We know 21 square is 441. 11 into 441. Right? It is easy, right? Multiplying by 11, 441, put a 0 here, 0 here, it's 1. 4 plus 1, 5. 1 plus 0, 1. 5, 4 plus 4, 8. 0 plus 4, 4. 4851 centimeter cube. Choice 4. Right, students? So, this completes the discussion of AMT 5200 2005. As I told you, minimum score which you should look at in this paper is 19 to 23. Anything less than that is a serious concern. If you're getting more than that, don't worry. Be happy. So, nothing to worry if it is more than that. Anything less than that, I think seriously you have to revise your fundamentals. We are discussing little fast because I want you to follow or catch up with this speed, because this is the speed you have to maintain in the examination. This you will get only upon practice. Speed and accuracy both are important. Right? So, if you have any doubts, you can pause, you can watch the video any number of times in your YouTube. Right, students? We will stop here. Thank you so much. Again, we will meet up in our next discussion. Thank you, students.